I'm Plami, and in this episode of Plami's Thoughts On, I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts on the first episode of the most recent Doctor Who season, Season 13, Doctor Who, Flux. And, I didn't plan on making this video. I didn't plan even on watching the most recent season of Doctor Who because, I mean, I recently made a video where I shared my thoughts about the news that Russell T Davies is going to be coming back to showrun Doctor Who after this season is done and after Chibnall leaves. So you can check out that video, but in that video I said that I'm not a big fan of the Chibnall era and I hate almost everything about it. So I wasn't at all excited about this season. I wasn't planning on watching it because I didn't expect to find any enjoyment out of it. And I even literally today forgot that it was releasing the first episode of the new series. But I stumbled upon videos about it on YouTube and I was like, oh yeah, that's out. And I was like, okay, maybe let's give it a shot. Let's see if I'm gonna like it or not. So I decided to check it out and I mean, it wasn't boring, you know, I'll give it that. It was actually surprisingly entertaining, all things considered. The biggest reason why is because I have no fucking clue what the fuck is happening. And I guess it's to be expected with the kind of story that he's going for with this season, being like a 6-part miniseries kind of like a thing. Which I'm not necessarily against the idea of doing something like this, but I'd rather that be a special that is airing in addition to the episodes that we already get during the year. I think that could be cool, but if the choice is between getting regular Doctor Who episodes and a miniseries like this, I'd honestly pick typical Doctor Who episodes. So yeah, yeah, I have no fucking idea what's happening in anything that has to do with the story. I mean, literally, as I was watching the episode, I was constantly complaining about it, not wanting to focus for 5 minutes. It was like an ADHD kid who screams, who is telling us a story, literally going like, and there's a dog alien who catches the good guy who is gonna become the Doctor's companion, and then he puts him in a cage made out of energy, and then the house of that person shrinks, and then a random woman shows out of nowhere, and then we move over to fucking Antarctica where there's this creature which shows up and turns a normal looking woman into a female version of him or something, and then we go to see how that creature was made because apparently he was in prison or something. It literally felt like that, like it couldn't fucking focus for 5 minutes on one character. We got like 20 fucking characters. By the time we got to the next one, I forgot that the last one happened at the end of the episode when it kind of went for like a cliffhanger thing for all the characters and everything. I was just like, oh yeah, we got shown that character. All things considered, it does feel improved. I'm gonna give it that. But I kind of said the same thing for the first episode of last season, which I didn't do a review of. But I said it, like to myself at least, and on the Doctor Who subreddit. It felt improved over Series 11, and this feels improved over last season, but 3 seasons later, I don't fucking care, you know? You've ruined it. And the fact that this villain seems to be doubling down on the Timeless Child bullshit, it's really not making me like it, because like, I was mostly enjoying it. For the most part. Again, as much as you can say you enjoy a garbled mess of God knows what, but when we had a little bit of the interaction between the Doctor and, I even forgot its fucking name, but that guy who's supposed to be the villain, he talked about how he knows the Doctor and that they haven't fought in a long time, and the fact that throughout this whole episode the Doctor wants to learn more about the Division. I mean, it's not hard to put 2 and 2 together and to understand that this villain seems to be from when the Doctor was the Timeless Child, before the Doctor was the Doctor. So, I just don't care. You know? I don't care. This is not my Doctor Who. That's kind of the thing. Like, yeah, it's become a little bit more enjoyable, and the visual effects were fucking amazing. Which, again, I think I said even in my in the video in which I talked about the RTD news, I mentioned my opinion on the Chibnall era. If I haven't, the only thing that I can say is great about the Chibnall era is the fucking visual effects. That has been a major fucking upgrade. Even over the fucking Moffat era. But the answer to that I have is Doctor Who was never about the visual effects being amazingly good and on par with like fucking Marvel or whatever. So why? It's always been about the writing. So it's a shame. It should be a shame for the show that the best thing you can praise it for right now is the fucking visual effects. That used to be something Doctor Who never even gave two shits about. Because fans never fell in love with the show because of its visual effects. We always loved it because of the writing, of the characters. And that's the thing exactly that lacks for the Chibnall era. The characters and the writing. And I gotta say, yeah, it feels a little bit more improved in this episode. They feel a little bit more quippy and with a little bit more personality. But again, it took him fucking 3 seasons. I don't care at this point. It's like it shouldn't take you 3 seasons to improve like that. If you're like a showrunner of a major show like this. But yeah, I don't know. For the most part, again, I enjoyed everything that I was seeing in the scenes and everything. It was entertaining. It kept my attention, surprisingly. I never felt like I wanted to click off and do something else. I enjoyed it through and through, and it was fun, but I still can't really truly judge whether it was good or not, because I have no idea what I was watching. It was just a bunch of scenes put together, and I don't understand anything. I'm lost. I'm literally lost. I'm really curious how they untangle this cobbled mess of everything. But again, I really like the visual effects. Everything, like the first opening scene with the Doctor and Yaz, that was flipping amazing. That was really good. It looked really good. It was a really cool action sequence. It kind of felt funny, like the dialogue with the whole handcuffs thing, that you need to say release, 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 and the Doctor kept screaming release over and over, and it didn't release until she said relief, which could be considered a little bit of an innuendo, because I think those handcuffs are supposed to be hers from her pocket or something. I liked the dog alien. That was interesting. I guess the budget for makeup has improved compared to the dog from last season. But yeah, I liked the character, and I think it was actually a pretty cool looking suit. And it was interesting, if anything. I liked his personality. I liked what purpose he served in the story. With him and his race coming in to save humanity from the Flux. That was kind of fun, with implying like the human's best friend is here to save them. That's fucking creative. That's cool. I like that. What else? Yeah, I just don't understand what was happening most of the time, but I mentioned that already like 5 times. In one of the random fucking scenes is the first time we got to meet this villain. And it was through a weird psychic connection that he has with the Doctor. I still don't understand that. Like, the Doctor never had this kind of, like, visions before. So why does she have it now all of a sudden? Like, there's introducing new things, and then there's pulling out of your ass. Okay? That's literally just Chibnall pulling shit out of his ass to plop onto the Doctor. But yeah, they have some kind of a psychic connection, and he allows her to watch the way he escapes, and then he fucking Thanos snaps a bunch of people, which was cool, and it was actually kind of horrifying, that alien. That definitely must have scared some kids who were watching this. And talking about kids, now I've forgotten specifically which moments kind of pissed me off, but there were a few moments where I really felt like Chibnall was talking down to the kids. I think it was mainly early on. I'm not exactly sure which scenes exactly they were, because again, I forgot, but there were some scenes where it really kind of felt like, hello fellow kids kind of thing, with his writing. And talking about Chibnall's writing, the Doctor still, and everybody still fucking over-explains everything, but it's most noticeable with the Doctor, because the Doctor usually is the person who explains everything. So she literally still continues to narrate everything, for lack of a better term. She continues to narrate everything that is happening. He just can't allow us to get the information ourselves, you know? Like, she's looking through the computer, and instead of giving us visual information for us to tell stuff apart, she says, but why this? But no, how does that make sense? Like, she is saying things that should have been shown to us visually. The one good thing to come out of her constantly speaking, though, is when she says, I wonder why Dan has such a beefy laptop, though. And then at the same time, the Doctor and Yas say, because it's not his. Like, that was actually kind of good. Like, there's definitely more and more semblances of good. But 3 fucking seasons in, and in the final season of the Chibnall era, it's too fucking late. And also, I'm kind of starting to get suspicious that probably Chibnall wasn't as involved as he was with the other episodes. Like, here's my few theories. One, the fact that it took them so long from the beginning of last year to now to release these episodes maybe allowed him to go through a couple more drafts of his episodes, so he improved them more. Because recently somebody brought up on the subreddit that the reason why his writing seems to be so shit right now with the episodes is because a lot of the episodes also very much feel like first drafts, like they didn't have time to finish them properly and try to fix a lot of the little things. So that could be one of the reasons why it feels better. 2, what if Maxine Alderton, I think is her name, who wrote the best episode of last season, which I didn't watch myself, but I watched people's reactions of it, and I can see why people liked it. That was the Haunting of Villa Diodati. I think she was supposed to be like a head writer or something for this season, so maybe she is the person who wrote more. It's just that Chibnall is gonna get the praise for it, you know? Those are kind of like my 2 theories. Because I just don't buy with Chibnall improving with each season. And even if he did, the fact that he was shit at a certain point kind of prevents me from really loving it. Like, at the end of the episode, when I was like, okay, that wasn't actually too bad, but it feels so far removed and so over the top compared to other shit that we've seen, at least in Revived Who, because that's the Doctor Who that I'm familiar with. That's the Doctor Who to me. That even if the show improves with this season, and especially when RTD comes back next season, I don't know how I'm going to be... I don't know if I'll ever be rewatching these episodes, specifically of the Chibnall era. Because, like, I love rewatching the show, and I love going through each season little by little and watching them. Whenever I get to Series 11, Series 12, Series 13, I'll probably just have to kind of skip them, or at best watch the first and the final story. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it is a really cool apocalyptic scenario that we get in this episode with the Flux destroying planets and everything. And with the VFX, it really looks fucking cool. Although there was such a dumb moment that I'm really curious to see people's opinions on, where we get to see one of the planets the Flux destroying be populated with aliens, and it's literally just goofy people with goofy alien costumes. Like, you can't go more fucking generic alien than that. And I don't know if I should laugh at how dumb that is, or should be pissed off at how dumb that is. I'm kind of a bit of both. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Am I forgetting anything else? We got a bunch of, I mean, again, it just doesn't, I just don't know what the fuck was happening, but we got a bunch of old Who monsters in the form of the Weeping Angels and the Sontarans. Again, I have no fucking clue what those scenes were about, but they were there. And the Weeping Angel one was fine. But it's not anything we haven't seen before, and again, I don't understand what the fuck it was about. And I've already seen people praise it. Oh my god, Chibnall has restored the greatness of the Weeping Angels, even though the Weeping Angels were never ruined. People over-hate Moffat about that. Especially, and again, this is a little bit of a sidetrack, but I've been following a YouTube channel called Harbo Holmes, who is a great channel you should definitely check out for Doctor Who reviews and other stuff. But he's really good at reviewing Doctor Who. I really enjoy his reviews. But recently he started reviewing the Moffat era, and he's fucking been shredding it to pieces, which has really pissed me off quite a lot and prevented me from really enjoying his videos at this point, because for the RTD era, he really, I mean, he always tried to look at the positives of an episode while still mentioning the negatives, kind of what I do with my reviews. So I really like that, and I kind of aspire to be as good as he is at doing that. But with the Moffat era, he really seems to be blowing shit out of proportion, like focusing on the littlest thing and saying that that ruined the episode. And recently he even reviewed the Weeping Angels two-parter and said that they were ruined because we see them move, and said the episode is bad because the ending of the episode with the Weeping Angels falling into the crack is not set up, even though through the whole episode everything is about gravitation and about that fucking crack. So people like him claiming that the Weeping Angels were ruined are wrong. They never were. There was a misstep, but I personally think the episode in which Amy and Rory leave was actually really fucking good. And with the Weeping Angels, you never have as good of an episode with them as Blink. You really have to build up a horror specific episode, because what we saw with them in this scene where she was one Weeping Angel was chasing a woman, it's just typical Weeping Angel stuff. There was nothing outstanding about it, and personally, it didn't really look as scary as the original was, because for some reason it didn't really look as detailed as it should have. I don't know why. It just looked fuzzy. Then we also got the Sontarans, which we're also going to see more in the next episode, so I'm curious exactly what they're going to do with them. But their new designs, I'm not a big fan of. I understand that they're kind of more similar to the classic Who, kind of with a lot of things, going there with a lot of things in the Chibnall era. Everything is pandering to the classic Who and going to the classic Who. Personally, I don't like them, not necessarily because they're bad, because I think they're more scary and everything, but they look less real. And I don't know otherwise how to explain it, them looking less real. Like, sure, they're kind of more complicated and everything, but I don't know, I feel like the RTD era Sontarans, and by extension the Moffat era Strax, actually looked pretty fucking real, you know? Like, I kind of buy that his head is like that, but now it genuinely just looks like rubber on top of somebody. And that also kind of applies to the villain, who, again, I don't remember the name of. Like, the main villain of this episode that got released, escaped from prison, and has some kind of connection to the Doctor. His face looks very detailed and very complex, but it also kind of looks like rubber. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of just how I feel, you know? Yeah, I like the concept of the TARDIS kind of breaking apart and getting the door in different locations of the TARDIS. That was actually really cool and really creative. And somebody rightfully pointed out in the Doctor Who subreddit, or it was the Gallifrey subreddit, I don't remember, that 60 years of Doctor Who, and this is the first time we get the door being in a different place from where it is. Because we got it on a different wall, we got it on the floor, which was really fucking cool. Like, that was really cool to see. And yeah, we got a pretty apocalyptic ending where we don't know exactly what happened to everybody, so I'm curious where that's gonna go. And I'm just curious to see where this story is going to go, so I know whether I'm gonna be pissed off about it by the end, or whether I'm gonna be, okay, that actually was watchable, you know? Because if it doubles down on the Timeless Child stuff, and it brings up more shit that is gonna be hard to retcon, I'm gonna be pissed off. I mean, I'm already pissed off. Like, as I was watching the episode, I was enjoying it until we got the mention that this villain knows the Doctor from before, from a long time ago. Because that is just doubling down on the Timeless Child. And for me, I hate it. I don't consider it canon. It's not canon to me. Going forward, I don't care if I'm going to continue watching Doctor Who after the Chibnall era, because for now, I'm probably going to continue doing it just for the sake of reviewing it and seeing where this goes. But if I'm going to continue watching Doctor Who and being a fan after the Chibnall era, I'm not going to consider it canon, and I really hope they go out of their way to fucking retcon it. Not the whole era as a whole, but the idea of the Doctor being this fucking stupid being from another universe who is the creator of all Time Lords by extension, and who is Space Jesus or Time Lord Jesus, and has lives before the lives we know of him as the Doctor. I'm just vehemently opposed to that. In no universe can I, in no timeline, no universe can I accept that. The only way I can accept it is if the Timeless Child was its own character. That's it. But I have gotten a little bit sidetracked. So, in terms of a rating for this episode, I mean, I reserve to rejudge this episode after I've learned more about the story, because as I said, it's a mess, and it was an entertaining mess, but not necessarily a good mess. So, as it is right now, I'm gonna give this episode an 8.3 out of 10. That is relative to the Chibnall era, keep in mind, and especially relative to this season, which we don't have much of, but I enjoyed this, and it feels like an 8.3 out of 10. But it might end up being less or more depending on where the story goes, so we'll see. Right now, that's how I feel though. So yeah, what did you guys think about this episode? Comment down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 2 patrons on Patreon, Omari Bridgman and Deadpool. Thank you guys for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I hope you keep doing that for a long time. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories, or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to Patreon and Ko-fi, where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!